Rome wasn't built in a day, but if you want to build a great empire, you gotta start somewhere. So let's go back to the very beginning and start at the top. Welcome to this series where we take a lighthearted, fun, not at all serious approach to learning about ancient history. Let's get to it. Rome was founded by Romulus, who slew his twin brother Remus at the top of Palatine Hill after they fought over who should rule their new settlement. And that is a big if somewhat confusing part of the reason why Rome is so great. You see, when Romulus was busy killing his twin, the other Italian tribes were getting on with the business of building their own settlements. And he was so proud that everyone got sick of it and kicked him out of Rome, establishing the Roman Republic in 509 BC. So they wrote down a bunch of rules, 12 to be exact, which outlined how the new government would work and, most importantly, what rights the patricians would have. These rules became known as the 12 Tables, and they established a number of things that we today take for granted, such as the right to due process, the right to a fair trial, and the right to not be tortured to death. The tables also established a legal code that applied equally to all Romans, which was revolutionary at the time. The new government was a bit of an experiment. The idea of a republic, a government in which power was held by the people, was a novel concept, and as such, there were some growing pains. But unlike Rome, those settlements had one major flaw. Instead of waiting until the end of the video for your delightful teacher to tell you what to do, I'm gonna let you do it. At the end of every video, I'll give you two options, both equally exciting and both equally made up. You'll have to pick which path we take next. And if you want to be extra helpful, you can let us know why you chose option A or B so we can make future episodes even better. They were ruled by kings. And being ruled by kings meant that those settlements were stuck with all the problems that came along with it. By the end of the Republic, Rome controlled the Mediterranean, and it was poised to become the dominant power in the ancient world. Like, for example, civil war. If you enjoyed this video, check out the series in the description. We have a whole video on the fall of the Roman Empire, which is just as dramatic as the rise. You can also like and subscribe for more videos about ancient Rome, Greece, Persia, and more. Until then, stay classy, ancient Rome. But Rome didn't have any kings. Rome was a republic, which meant that theoretically no one was above the law. Of course, that wasn't actually true because slavery was a thing and women couldn't vote or anything, but still, compared to the other Italian states, Rome was pretty egalitarian, and having no king meant that Rome could focus on things like, I don't know, conquering the entire Mediterranean. To understand how Rome went from a small hilltop village to an international powerhouse, we're gonna need to talk about the Roman kings. Because despite the fact that Romulus killed his brother for being king, the next 7 kings of Rome did a decent job ruling the city. The first 3 kings were all from the Etruscan Tarquinia clan, and they brought with them the customs and culture of their homeland under their rule. Rome grew from a small village into a proper city. They established many of Rome's early institutions, including its Senate, which originally functioned as a kind of advisory council to the king. The Etruscans also introduced the Romans to some more advanced technologies, like the alphabet, which up until this point the Romans had been writing in all capital letters. They didn't even have punctuation. Writing without an alphabet or punctuation is kind of like trying to read a text message written entirely in emoji. It's possible, but it's a real pain in the butt. Anyway, the last Etruscan king was Tarquinius Superbus, aka Tarquinius the Proud. For one, the patrician class, the original landowners, were super worried that the common folk would end up taking all their stuff. Over the next few centuries, Rome's population boomed, and it expanded beyond the Italian peninsula into the surrounding lands. So thanks for watching. Hey, remember the system of government Rome was trying out? Well, today we're gonna try something new.